Ribbly dibbly! Spot on, pip pip! What and all that? Hello! Welcome to What's Happenintinson with Robert Pattinson. Clancy, how are you?
Hello, hi, how are you, Bobby?
Oh, I'm great. I'm having a grand old time here. Thanks so much for letting me do the show. I'm such a big
Yeah,
fan of the news and reading newspapers, and I got so many opinions I've got to get off my chest, and I knew you were the one to call to give me the pedestal I deserve.
yeah, not a lot of people are willing to give you a voice right now, and I feel like I wanted to put a stop to that.
Well, I think I've got a bit of a 2 cents on a couple things, a 2 pence to give, and I think people deserve to hear my opinions. And some places are saying that I'm too dangerous with my ideas, but right here on the Boardcastle channel, you take risks, and that's what I love about you, Clancy.
Yeah, big risks every day.
Now, Clancy, I've got a question to start off with.
Yeah,
Do you read the news, Clancy?
Yeah, sure. I've been known to read the news every now and again.
Would you consider yourself a fan?
A fan of the news? No.
All
No
right.
news.
Well, this will be good then. This will all sort of be the shamanic monk on top of the mountain, sharing my expansive knowledge of the news with you, and you can be my pupil for the day. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do it.
Oh, I love it. Now, for those of you watching who've never seen a World's Hottest Goss before, I recommend you pause this and watch all 200 hours of the back catalogue on YouTube, because things will make a lot more sense. So just pause this. We'll wait. All right, and you're back. Lovely. Clancy!
Yes.
Are you ready to get started with our first guest?
Let's do it. Let's introduce him.
All right. Well, I wanted to reach out to all my favorite members of the Broadcastle family, and I couldn't imagine doing this show without a stalwart of the channel. Please welcome, you know him, you love him, McDougal.
Oh, here it comes. Here.
Hello.
McDougal.
Hello. I'm so
How
glad
are
to
you,
be here.
mate?
I'm very well, Bobby. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm a lot better now that you're here, McDougal.
I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to be here on the very first episode of What's Happenintinson.
Now, McDougal, I've got a question for you.
Indeed.
Do you read the news?
I do read the news.
Would you consider yourself a fan of the news, McDougal?
I'm a huge fan of the news. I friggin' love it.
That's what I see. That's why we get along. Two old news hounds from jolly old London town. You get us together. We could talk politics. We could talk geography. We could talk human interest, and we could just go on for hours.
It's not so. I've known you for a while. You're a stand-up guy, and we always just get to talking to the news every time we see each other. And
me and McDougal have spent many a late night staying up debating what's happening at the local city council and the school board meetings.
we're just always looking at our phones and be like, "Do you see this? Do you see this
You see-
news? Look at this
Have
news.
you heard this? Is the city councilman daft? And 9 out of 10 times he is, Clancy, I'll tell you that much. If I know one thing about city councilmen. All right. Then our next guest. Are you ready to...
Those clowns in the city council.
Those clowns in the city council. They think they can get away with anything, can't they?
You give them
Right.
just a little bit of power.
Just a little much, and they run away with it. They go mad with power. All right, our next guest. I'm just so happy she joined us. She is my best friend in the entire world. I met her on this very channel. Please welcome Eliza Butler, everybody.
Hello. It's been a whirlwind, hasn't it, Rob?
It has. How are you, Eliza?
Oh, we're here. We're learning a lot about each other. Good to see McDougal. I know. Also good to see Clancy, but I saw Clancy like 2 days ago. So
It's always good to see McDougal.
Yeah.
Now, Eliza,
Yeah.
we met on this very program, didn't we?
We did. Yes, absolutely.
And we've grown quite close over the past couple of months, haven't we?
We're just inseparable.
In fact, you're house sitting for me right now while I'm on set.
I am. You and like all of your weird exotic pets that the news doesn't know about.
Yeah. How's Jessica and Chastain, my hermit crabs?
Oh, you know what? I think they're getting ready to trade up to a new shell. It's really exciting.
Oh, I wish I could be there for that. It's like sending your kids to college when the old hermit crabs get a new shell.
Absolutely. I'll make sure to film it for you though. So
Please, and make sure to give them lots of treats. I keep the chocolate cake in the top drawer, as you know.
yes.
Bobby, I've known you for so long. You've never mentioned any of your pets before. You got
Has
hermit crabs?
that not come up?
I don't think we've ever talked. All the news that we've discussed, we've never talked about your pets.
Well, I'm a bit of an animal lover. I am. Oh, let's name them off. Eliza, you're obviously right there in the room with them. There's Jessica and Chastain, my hermit crabs.
Right. And then you have the pack of guinea pigs. I don't even know all their names yet.
I haven't named all of them. I have to be able to find them to give them all names.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. It's really more of an infestation, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're cute about it, so we're not
cute.
calling them
They're cute. Yeah.
I was gonna say, you just have them roaming your probably like you've got a mansion, right? Like you've got a huge house.
On a palatial estate.
You have just wild guinea pigs all over.
Well, they don't run everywhere they want. The rattlesnakes keep them in line mostly.
Yeah. I just throw out like 3 pounds of lettuce twice a day, and then it all disappears.
How is Franklin, the rattlesnake, by the way?
He is pretty annoyed, so like normal.
Is he still got that sore throat?
I think so, but I think he's about to like shed his skin. The hermit crabs are like super into it. They're like, oh, that seems like an option also. So
oh yes, sort of a synchronicity. It's tough when a rattlesnake gets a sore throat, isn't it? Because they're all throat.
Oh right, yes, exactly.
It's tough to find a lozenge long enough.
Yeah,
isn't that fun? Isn't that just fun to think about?
We don't have like the long lozenges in England, in merry old London town.
That's true. We call them lollies. Now, Eliza, I've got a question for you. Do you like the news?
No, because it's like just so much. Like, what season do I even start on? That's where I am with news right now.
Well, Eliza, I'm so happy that we have you on here to share this new perspective.
Yeah, excited. Very excited. Yeah.
And maybe me and McDougal can come from sort of a pro-news angle, and you can come right back with that counterpoint and give us an idea of why the news might not be important.
That's what I'm here for. Yeah, exactly.
That's fantastic.
Perfect.
All right, we've got one more guest to introduce. Now this guest, they're a comedian. I saw bits of some of their videos, some of their jokes, and I thought, well, they've got a bit of a different perspective. Are they a little bit of a weirdo, aren't they? I bet they got all sorts of perspectives I never even thought about on the news, so I knew I had to have them on the show. Please welcome Jamie Carbone.
Yeah.
Good evening, Robert.
Jamie!
Hello.
How are you, mate?
I'm well.
That's fantastic.
I'm 3 holes in the ground, buddy. Well.
Now that sort of sharp wit is why I had to have you on the program.
I'm so thankful that you've heard of me, Robert. I cannot put into words how thankful I am.
Oh, I have to say, not only do I know you, but I'm a big fan.
I am so happy to hear that.
Oh, I can't get enough of your weird perspectives and your funny gaffes.
To me, I think they're normal perspectives.
See, you're a little bit skewed, aren't you? A little bit twisted up in the headly belly.
Maybe I'm the only normal one, and it's everyone else who's twisted up in the headily bedily.
Now, I've never thought about it that way. Maybe we are all a bit twisted.
I mean, if you show me normal, I show you someone who hasn't revealed their true selves.
Oh, Jamie. Oh, I just love that bad boy energy you bring. That's just amazing. All right. Now I think it's time we've got to get to the news. And now, of course, I've prepared some stories for us to read. But if anyone in the chat has some news stories they think we should get to, feel free to comment that down in the chat, and we'll see if we can't give you our perspectives. I'm waiting for the chat to respond, and then I realise they're not mic'd. All right. Now, before we get to the news, I've prepared a little bit of. I know how they like to have a segments on this channel. They like to have their shit wheels and their what's all going on with the poggers with that and all that stuff. So I've developed a couple of my own trademark segments, and if it's all right with you all, I'd like to do one of them now.
It is all right with me.
Let's do it.
Absolutely.
I have 4-way consent to proceed with the segment.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Fantastic.
consent.
All right. Well, this first segment is called What's Happenintinson with that? What's Happenintinson with that? What's Happenintinson with that? Now, this is a segment where I kind of give you a bit of my perspective, and I sit around and sometimes I think about things in the world, and they make me go, what is Happenintinson with that? And so this is just showing you a little bit up top about where I'm coming from, sort of give you a context of my mental headspace going into the episode. So our first topic, pelicans. What's Happenintinson with that?
Sometimes they steal cats.
Sometimes they steal cats, sometimes they sit on the beach. And the thing about pelicans is they're not quite a bird, but they're also not quite a bucket. Jamie Carbone, what do you suppose is Happenintinson with that?
I suppose evolution is a cruel trick played by a god that has abandoned us long ago, to the point where a bird evolves a bucket as part of its face in some kind of sick simulacra of the game we know as Pokemon, to give us horrors and nightmares and to steal our small animals from us when we least expect it. And also one stole a whole little like paper tray, plastic bucket little thing of fries for me at the beach when I was like 7, and I will never forgive birds for that.
Oh, that's a bit of a betrayal, isn't it?
Yes.
Especially coming from a Lovecraftian horror like pelicans.
They are truly not of this world.
Eliza, pelicans. What do you suppose is Happenintinson with that?
Well, I just want to know, like, are their tongues like on the top of their mouth or at the bottom of the bucket? I'm really starting to be confused about like their makeup in there.
Now that's an interesting question. I've never really thought about that. And what size would it be?
Right, exactly. Is it like hummingbird situation, or is it like, I don't know what has a small tongue? But also, Jamie, one time my sister was at the beach and a seagull stole her burger. So I think just beach birds are criminals is what I think.
Beach birds aren't to be trusted, are they?
You know what? I agree with the sentiment, but it does now feel like we're stereotyping a place and the animals that live there in a way that I socially am not comfortable continuing.
Sure.
I'd like to chime in at this point and say I've had to punch many a seagull to keep them from eating my food.
Sure.
I would like to know more specific numbers.
I would like to believe that
37.
Oh, wow.
At least 37 seagulls have copies hands.
Okay, but now I think you're just seeking them out. So now I'm on Jamie's side again about prejudice. So
Look, if I have to fight a seagull, I'll fight a seagull.
Well, was that 37 like different times, or was it just a flock of seagulls that you were fucking?
Oh no, it was one seagull that I just kept punching.
37 punches to one.
Tough
well,
seagull.
that's a different story. You tried to make it seem like you were, you ran so far away with a flock of seagulls.
I'm going to leave.
All right, Jamie, it's been nice having you. Well, I think that's a good segment. That was What's Happenintinson with that. And this week's topic was pelicans. And write in next week what do you think our next topic should be, and I'll read about it later. All right, you all ready for our first news story?
You know it.
So ready.
All right, Clancy, why don't you hit us with a bit of a headline?
Oh yeah, here we go. Here it is. Murder convict vows to get woke LA County DA's name tattooed on face.
All right. Is it sort of an homage, or is it more of like a list of people he has to take revenge on?
I have no idea.
It's the opposite. He got a
What do you-
reduced sentence, so he's going to get the judge's or the DA's name tattooed on him out of respect.
Oh,
Well, that's kind of a nice thought, sort of a gesture of friendship.
Yeah, I would have thought it'd be the opposite. Like he was just like marking his, like your whenever I get out of here, your name is on my face.
You're
And I'm
first to
kind of coming.
go.
Yeah, that seems like a threat. It seems getting someone's name tattooed on your face seems like a threat. Anytime you have your face marked up and it's someone else's name, it seems like a bad idea.
Yeah, sort of, I can't wait to check this off my to-do list type of thing.
Yeah, I can't wait to get that X, cross that name out.
McDougal, if you were to get someone's name tattooed on your face, who would you get?
I mean, I think I'd have to get my kids' names like right on my cheeks.
That's lovely.
That'd be pretty cool.
Now that would be a loving homage.
Yeah, and then I could get pets. Every time I get a pet, I'll add one
Just
to
have it
either
running
side, just
down.
going down.
Sort of
And then
dripping
hopefully-
off.
If I was you, I'd have all these friggin' guinea pigs. Like, I don't even know if it would just leave.
It would just be
my body.
numbers.
Just be numbers. Yeah, no names.
Now, do you think your children would love that, or do you think they'd be a bit frightened?
I think they would like it right now because they're 5 and 3, so they'd go, "Ah, look at that, it's my name." And
They
then
like
the
it's
older they
having a
got-
sticker.
yeah, the more that I had to interact with their teachers and people in their life, and their teachers just seeing like, okay, so this dad's got their names written on his face. Like, I think the more that they realize that,
That would raise some questions.
I don't think they'd be into it.
Be a bit of a bad look. Eliza, if you had to get someone's name tattooed on your face, what would you get?
well, I mean, obviously yours. Like, you're my best friend ever. Like, how could I not start with your name?
Eliza, we should set the appointment right now.
Absolutely. I mean, but are we gonna go like forehead, or do we want to go like McDougal style on the cheeks? I mean, I could put on both sides.
I think neck, like right here.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that also would work. Absolutely.
I think I could really pull off Eliza across the bridge of my nose.
Yeah.
And then butler down below on the chin.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be perfect. Yeah. So whenever you get back to your house, where I'm house sitting, we could probably even have like some.
We can make that happen.
We don't need to like go to an actual place because you're
I
a very
might-
person. So
I might not be able to get the tattoo down here, though, because my jawbone has been known to break tattoo needles.
ah. I thought you were gonna say it's like insured. Like JLo's.
It is insured.
insured. Yeah.
$13 million insured. It sure is. All right. Jamie Carbone, who would you get tattooed on your face, and why would it be Sonic the Hedgehog?
I would shave off my eyebrows and I would have the words John and Cena.
Oh.
Oh, bum, indeed.
Sonic the Hedgehog is already tattooed on my heart. I can't give him more real estate.
It would be redundant at this point.
He already knows I love him.
He already knows you love him. All right, well, that's been that news story. I think we pretty much covered all that. Chap's got himself in jail, and he's figuring it out with a face tattoo. All right. I say, would you all like another segment?
Yes.
Yeah, let's hit another segment, baby.
Let's do another segment. This segment's called Getting Deepleson with Other Peopleson. Getting Deepleson with Other Peopleson on the show. Yes! Now, this is a sort of a segment where, I kind of fancy myself a little bit of a racial Maddow, a little bit of an Anderson Cooper, a little bit of a Pete Holmes. I think I can really interview people, and I can make it quite good. So what I've done is I've compiled some questions to ask each one of you to get really down deep into what you're all about. What do you think about that?
Let's do it. Yeah.
I have one party consent. That's good enough for me. All right, Clancy, we'll start with you. Clancy, what's the most fucked up person you've ever met?
The most fucked up person that I've ever met. What type of fucked up? Like the most fucked up, like crazy, like weird, or the most fucked up, like a bad person?
Well, I suppose you can give me an answer for both if you'd like.
Okay, the worst person I've ever met is my boss, the guy who owns the place that I work right now. Now, if he ever if the person who owns the place that I work right now, is watching right now, this is satire. This is all jokes. But truly the worst person, I think he's basically like Ebenezer Scrooge in real life. Like before all the ghosts, he's pre-ghost Scrooge in real life.
Well, it sounds like you need to arrange a bit of a ghost situation for him.
Yeah, we do need to arrange a little bit of a ghost situation for him.
Sounds like that's sort of the medicine the doctor calls for in this situation.
And the most fucked up, like, weird person that I've ever met is actually Jamie. So.
Oh, it sounds about right.
I don't think that's true.
That twisted child of a bitch. All right. Well, that leads me perfectly into Jamie. What's your favorite thing to think about?
What it would be like to have ice powers.
Oh, ice powers. Now, are you saying sort of like creating ice, sort of sliding on ice, or just the ability to walk on ice?
I take it as the Iceman trope of where I would be able to generate it to not necessarily turn my body into ice, but have some level of ice immunity. To shoot beams of ice out of my hand, and perhaps other parts of my body, like my eyes. Ice vision would be cool if I wanted to make my drink cold again.
I've got to say, you've got the eyes for it.
Oh, that's very kind, Robert. Thank you.
Beautiful blue peepers.
Oh, shucks. That's what I think about the most. That and my mortality. It's a neck and neck.
Do you enjoy thinking about your mortality?
I do not. I do not at all.
Do you enjoy thinking about other people's mortality?
No, I don't. I think I'm worried that if there is no afterlife, that we're all wasting our life that we have, forced into as cogs into a machine that does not support us. So I don't think it's fair that anybody has to live like this. And I wish we would all get a fucking mulligan.
Now, Jamie,
that's fair. I am pretty weird.
Follow-up question, Jamie. Do we live in a society?
We do, but I don't like that I agree with that one sentiment from that particular character.
All right, sounds good. All right. Now, Eliza, are you ready for your question?
I am.
Eliza, what's the most fucked up person you've ever met?
Oh, let's see. Well, I have had a couple of bosses, not current bosses, luckily, but I'm going to go with Clancy on this. Like people who only by the grace of whatever were not actually directly working with people other than employees because they were evil, just evil, you know?
Bit of a crud bag.
Yes, just a bit.
I think that we're kind of noticing a central theme that maybe working for people isn't all it's cracked up to be.
Yes, but also working for yourself, then you're your own boss, and then maybe just working isn't all it's cracked up to be.
You either die a hero or live long enough to see yourself become freaking management. I always said that in my movie.
Absolutely, yeah. I
always said that. That's lovely. All right.
I don't want to interrupt, but somebody in the chat did just post a giant penis made of dots, and I really want to see what it looks like if I try and bring it up on the screen.
Yeah.
Why not? Let's take a look.
All right.
That's rather expressive.
How did it make two?
Yeah, it kind of became two giant dicks.
Now, Clancy.
A girl.
Now, Clancy, you have to be honest with me. Is that person in chat the Riddler?
I don't think it is.
Did you tell the Riddler about this stream?
See, no, because I know the Riddler as portrayed by Paul Dano. I don't know about any other Riddlers. I don't know the Jim Carrey Riddler, but I know the Riddler as portrayed by Paul Dano. And I do know that he doesn't have internet right now.
All right. What was the name of the person that commented that?
Bazooks.
Oh, no, we just keep an eye on Bazooks.
Yeah, we're going to keep an eye on Bazooks.
Just to be sure. All right, McDougal.
It's me.
Where were you on the morning of September 11th, 2001?
I was a senior in high school, and it was the weirdest fucking day. I think I was in science class when like shit just started happening, and then they wheeled in a television, and we all watched it. And I remember there was a teacher who had a bad take, and I was like just blown away because he was like, "Oh, we're going to war! Like, fuck this! This is crazy! Like, here we go!" I was like, "What are you?" Like, yeah, it was. I think within like an hour, they just sent everyone home, and then I just got to go get stoned with my friends and be like, "What the fuck's going on?"
Now, since you were a senior, when they were showing the footage, were you looking around at any of your friends in class and being like, "Is one of you pulling a senior prank right now?
That was they.
Are one of you having a laugh with this?"
We thought it was a prank for a week. They really kept it going. It was good.
Now, I find that when you're pranking someone, if you have to kill a whole building of people, it's honestly not that good of a prank. If you can't think of a way to prank someone without blowing up a whole building full of people, then maybe leave the prankings up to the Ashton Kutchers of the
Gotta
world.
scale it down a little bit. Just
Just a little bit down. Maybe a whoopee cushion.
When I was in middle school, I think I printed out just a list of like pranks, just a big old like just random prank list. There's some gems on there. Like I have some that are stuck in my brain for like these are just good jokes. Like just taking a petri dish, kind of a shallow bowl, filling it with some kind of urine and freezing it so that you just have a frozen disc of piss, and you can just slide it under someone's door. Like it's a good college dorm prank. Just slide it in, slide a couple, and then they've got a puddle of piss because that stuff melts and walk in their door. Like, how the fuck did someone piss on my floor?
Why does it need to actually be piss?
It could be, you get creative.
You got other ideas, Clance?
And why don't you just piss under the door?
That seems hard. And I guess
I forget, we don't all have classically flat British penises.
My battery is dying. I got to get my charger.
All right, Jamie, we'll be here when you get back.
He doesn't like to talk about pee. I know, Jamie.
They get a little bit sheepish with the piss talk.
They don't want to do that.
Now, do you have to go buy a petri dish to make this happen, or is there another sort of cylindrical thing you could use?
I think a petri dish was the example used. I feel like you could get creative with that too.
That's like
maybe you could.
It's not a lot of pee. You need a stack of them.
I think like a big plate is the move.
Big old plate of piss.
Oh,
now you're getting me hungry.
Big old plate of frozen piss.
Now, Eliza, have you fed my pet anteater its nightly frozen plate of piss yet?
No, that was gonna have to wait until after the show. I didn't.
Okay.
But I know that Artie is super into it.
I've got them. They're in the garage cooler with the Bud Lights. If you need to find one.
Sure. Thank you. Yeah. Oh no. Next thing we know, Clancy's gonna be like over to your place. Like, where's the freezer full of piss dishes?
Where's the piss freezer?
Yeah,
let me out that piss freezer.
I want in the piss freezer.
Oh, Clancy, anytime.
Let me in the piss freezer. Let me in the piss freezer.
Clancy, the key's under the doormat. Let yourself in anytime.
Hell yeah.
But maybe
all right
ahead of time so I can clear out the guinea pigs before you just run straight to the piss freezer,
Not to mention you don't want them sneaking up on you.
No.
I'll hang out with the guinea pigs.
Oh, but the guinea pigs are a bit skittish, Clancy, and you do tend to make a lot of noise.
Hey,
when you're doing your piss diggings.
That is true. When I get it, I do
rooting around for your piss. You tend to get a bit carried away, and Clancy, we don't judge you for that. We love you. And Clancy, what do you say we go on to the next news story?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's right now.
What else is in the news?
Sorry.
Here it is. Chef shares how to cook hard-boiled eggs so the shell slides right off.
Now, this is an interesting news story. This is from the Daily Mirror. And, I just think it's so interesting when these chefs have these tricks that you never think of if you didn't see it on the news.
Sure.
You think you could...
I'm very interested in this story. I want to know how they do it.
Yeah, Clancy, why don't you walk us through? See if you scroll down if it'll give us a step-by-step.
There are so many ways to cook your egg. Poached, sunny side up, scrambled, to name a few. but the easiest method has to be hard-boiled. There's foolproof and simple here. They are foolproof and simple to make, but peeling the shell is boring and time-consuming, and
So boring.
especially when you're hungry. Thankfully, a chef has shared a trick to cooking eggs that will help the shell slide right off.
If I had $1 for every time I fell asleep while peeling eggs, just through sheer boredom, I tell you.
$8.
She has built an impressive following of more than 18 million users on the platform TikTok. Hardboiled. Oh, maybe we can play the video. Is that
Well, let's find out.
okay?
All right, so it looks like she's putting a bit of a colander in there,
Sure.
and she's putting them in a pot, boiling them up.
Steam.
Oh. Well, that's
Oh,
not really boiling them, is it?
Magic? Is the trick magic?
The trick is that you don't boil them, you steam them.
Steaming.
Jamie, what do you think about that?
I love eggs, Robert. I
Yes?
love to devil them. I
Really?
don't have the equipment to do this, though.
Yeah, it seems like you need all sorts of contraptions, and you got to have that white pot. And it also seems to happen quite quickly, doesn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, what's the
Now-
time it takes if you steam an egg?
For all we know, it could take weeks.
I would guess.
All
Okay.
right.
Yeah, I was gonna
Oh.
guess 10 or 15 minutes was my guess.
12
12
to
to
14.
14. Good job.
Well, who has time for that?
Not I, Monsignor.
McDougal is
time for
famously an
that?
egg genius.
I am an egg genius.
What's your preferred kind of egg, McDougal?
I mean, if I'm having a good breakfast, I'm gonna do poached. I like a good poached egg.
Do
It
you
took
eat
me
the
a
egg by
long.
itself, or do you put it on top of something?
I usually put it on top of toast or English muffins if I happen to have them. How about you?
I like an egg on a burger. That's my preferred way of having an egg.
I've never had an egg on a burger.
It'll change. Hold on. Let me get close to the mic. It'll change your fucking life. I swear to God.
What else do you put on the burger?
Whatever. I like to do an onion ring and some barbecue sauce. I like to get fancy with it.
Wow. That sounds pretty tasty, if you ask me.
Robert, have you ever done an egg on a burger?
Well, I don't eat protein. I'm on one of those celebrity diets.
How are you alive?
Oh, I'm very conscious about where I expend my energy, aren't I?
Are you?
Everyone knows I'm classically even-keeled.
Learn from your friend, Guy.
I'm completely immobile from the nipples down 90% of the time.
Sounds
That makes
decent.
sense.
And I don't walk anywhere. I have my interns push me around on roller skates. But no, protein.
Risky.
Protein, it tends to clog up the acting muscle, and you just simply can't act it. I'm on an all carbs and sugar diet.
I think that's the way to go.
Mhm.
I think doing like all sugars all the time.
I eat mostly creme brulee.
Oh hell
Okay,
yeah!
well, now I'm back on board.
There you are. See, I knew I'd win you back. It's these celebrity diet tips. I should have my... You see, why don't they ever put one of my diet tips on the news? How come what I say isn't newsworthy?
Your spaghetti was newsworthy.
Actually, now that I think about it, I specifically have been very newsworthy with my cooking.
Yeah.
Maybe that was a bad example.
I don't know if I know.
I actually am famously insane with my recipes.
As someone who's a news junkie, I don't think I know this news story about Bobby and his spaghetti.
You didn't see that?
Tell me
I
about your
see-
spaghetti, Bobby.
See this.
I seem to remember that it was something insane where I cooked spaghetti in a wet napkin in the microwave with like half a cup of sugar.
I feel like there was tinfoil involved also.
Yes.
Bobby, you need to get your people to cook for you. You don't know what you're doing.
Well, I'm fiercely independent, am I?
I have to find this story.
You should find it. Maybe we can add it to the list. It'll be a bonus story. All right. Well, speaking of stories, I think we just about covered that story. Oh, I think it's time to move on to our next segment, and this is a fun one. This segment is called In Memoriamtinson. In Memoriamtinson, it's where you come to see where they've all gone. In Memoriamtinson.
Real fast, the site that I found, the headline is "How to Make Robert Pattinson's Gross and Dangerous Pasta Recipe."
I call it my psycho spaghetti.
Do you want to share that real quick, McDougal?
Yeah, why don't we crack into that before we get to In
I'm gonna
Memoriam?
put it in the private chat because I have no idea how to do anything on here. I know DP and you do, Clancy.
Oh man. Oh, this fucking okay. All right.
Why don't we just?
You do the In Memoriam, Tinson, and I will.
Well, it's going to involve some participation with you, Clancy. You got to pull up the slides. How to make my extremely gross and dangerous pasta recipe.
Okay, here's the. Look at that picture.
You look so pissed off, Bobby. You're like, you
I'm in a bit of a
this
spaghetti
pasta.
trance. That's me before I've had the pasta. Let's see. It's a pasta you can hold with your hand. Sort of a fast food pasta. Let's scroll on down to see what I did with this here thing. One giant, filthy, dust-covered box of cornflakes. Large novelty lighter. 9 packs of pre-sliced cheese. Any sauce. Sugar, penne, burger, aluminum foil, and water.
I like
So, yeah,
how
pretty much.
Yeah. Pretty much. What?
Pretty much, you just put a bunch of cheese and pasta and sugar and cornflakes in a bowl, and you heat it up until it's terrifying.
That's truly psychotic.
Yeah. It reminds me of like when you ask kindergartners to write a recipe. That's what I'm getting here, that energy.
Well, I wrote that recipe when I was in kindergarten, Eliza. It's one of my old favorites.
Yes.
When I was in kindergarten at Oxford. I did K through 12 at Oxford. A lot of people don't know that. I was a special case. Clancy, are you pretty enraptured by this here recipe?
I'm losing my mind. Then add sauce, which is red.
Now that's news.
Then you take a burger bun and you put it on. You put the pasta on a burger.
Hollow it out. You have to hollow out the burger bun.
Bobby, what are you doing?
Now, to be
are
fair,
you
I
doing?
think you can get something similar at Jollibee's.
Okay, we gotta let's
Let's move on.
Sorry about
Let's go to let's go through the card. Let's go to In Memoriam Tinson.
here we
In
go.
Memoriam Tinson. And this is kind of where I like to take a look back at just the people we've lost this past week and give them a little bit of celebration. So here we go. First person, Lumilda Frommelt. 92, looks like she died in Dubuque, Iowa, passed away on Tuesday. She's at the cemetery. She's got John F. Kennedy from Dubuque and a mass burial. Holy Ghost. She was the daughter of John and Mary Munster. She was a member of the Munsters. That's where I know her from. Jamie, what do you think about Lumilda here?
I think that I have strong MILF vibes from Lumilda's whole thing.
Oh, I think I'm getting that a bit too.
So gone too soon is my official.
Gone too soon. So many young lives she could have changed. So many young, strapping, young lawnmowers she could have tossed about with, especially coming into summer like this. Eliza, what do you think about Lumilda? What are some of your favorite memories of Lumilda?
Well, I love how she really loved that coral pink color. Like everything she wore was that color.
Oh, and she could wear it for days, couldn't she?
Absolutely, yeah. So, I like that they honored that.
It's
in her
very
last
lovely.
photo. Yeah.
McDougal, have you ever been to Dubuque, Iowa?
I have never been to Dubuque, Iowa, and I'm wondering where the name Lumilda. I've never heard that name before.
Sounds a bit witchy, doesn't it?
I think probably
Definitely.
most of the Lumildas you've met go by Lulu.
Oh,
Really?
Lulu. Oh, that's what I reckon. This is Lulu Frommy. I know Lulu Frommy. I think I was part of the Tri-Wizard tournament with the Lunilda, if I'm not mistaken.
I always forget you were in that movie.
I was, and I was good in it, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Running about getting killed by Voldemort. All right, let's move on to the next obituary. Just got about 13, 14 more of these to get through.
Hey,
James.
that's my hometown newspaper.
James Paul Barker of Charleston. Now, Jamie, why don't you tell us a little bit about Charleston, and maybe did you ever meet James Barker there?
No, I didn't. He's 67, which is the same age my father will be. And my father looks so much better than this man. And boy, oh boy, does that bring me some relief. Just, again, about that whole mortality struggle.
You've got good genes, don't you?
Yeah, it's where I keep my keys when I'm out in public.
Oh, Jamie.
But here's the thing. He says he's from Sissonville. If you scroll down, Sissonville is where the first girl I ever dated lived.
Well, are you still in contact with her?
Sometimes, yeah.
Why don't you give her a call? Ask her if she knows James.
I'm not going to do that.
Get her on the show.
All right.
She lives in
All
England.
right, I'll look into booking her later next episode, y'all. I won't have to put you through that awkwardness. Have you ever flown out to the Chuck Yeager Airport?
Often. It's the only airport in Charleston.
Ah. Eliza, you ever been to the Virginias?
One of the Virginias, the one that's for lovers, which I don't think is this one.
It is not.
Oh, no. West Virginia, strictly for haters, isn't it?
But Jamie, do you know who Chuck Yeager is?
I do.
I have no idea who Chuck Yeager is.
Oh, he was. Did you ever watch The Right Stuff, the film? He was the first guy to break the sound barrier in a land speed vehicle.
Oh, and then he went on to be an actor and acted in The Right Stuff, huh?
Okay. I think he is in The Right Stuff, but
That's fascinating.
he was played by someone cool.
Was it Ed Harris?
No, it was.
Now, Jamie, be honest, was it?
I don't even think Ed Harris is in The Right Stuff.
Be honest now, Jamie. Don't be cheeky.
Who is?
I think it was Sam Shepard. Let me look that up.
Allegedly, I think Eliza might be right.
Who is Sam Shepard?
He is an actor / playwright who has been in many things.
He was the first person to act the land sound barrier.
Yeah, he was the first person to break the land speed barrier in a production of 12 Angry Men.
First person to act it, yes.
Such a fast actor.
He's very quick. He's a legend. All right, Clancy, why don't you send us over to our next obituary? Well, let's do one more for good measure.
Here we go. Let's look at this guy.
Oh, now your computer was able to translate this. When I picked this one out, it was in Portuguese.
Oh, well.
That's all right. Why don't you read us a little bit about this chap?
The most unavoidable figure in mental health in Portugal. This is how the Higher Institute of Applied Psychology defines the Dr. Antonio Coimbra Matos. Antonio Coimbra Matos. He died yesterday, age 92.
Oh, shoot. I imagine people will have a lot easier time avoiding him than now.
Yeah, that is true.
Who would you say is the most unavoidable person we know?
It might be you, Bobby.
You are everywhere.
Me?
True.
I am
Bobby,
everywhere.
you're everywhere.
And I do like to pester you lot. Well, you're my friends, aren't you? I just send you some texts from time to time throughout the day. Who would want to avoid old Bobby Bats?
Well, now I'm gonna be texting you so much more now, just being like, is your housekeeper home? Is someone cooking for you? Because I'm worried about when you cook for yourself after reading about this pasta recipe.
Oh, I'm fine. I do fine. I have a. Oh, I've actually trained. That reminds me, Eliza, have you fed the macaque?
Yes, twice.
You have.
I know we do have one more, but
Yeah.
it's like it's hard to get behind all the piss in the piss freezer for the macaque food. So,
And more importantly, have you been able to convince the macaque to cook and feed for you?
no, I didn't even know that was an option, Bobby.
Because that's why I bought the damn things.
Sure.
Because the salesman told me they could cook me dinner.
No luck though yet, huh?
Come to find out, all they do is run about and shit in me pots and pans. I think I was sold a false bill of goods with those macaques.
Are you wearing a Forks hoodie, by the way?
Forks, Washington, my hometown. Forks, Washington, district of jolly old England. Jolly old London town, Forks, Washington.
Well, I hate to do this. I think I have to leave right now, Bobby. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna go dig up some more news stories for the next episode, but I do have to say goodbye.
McDougal, you honor me with your presence, and I pray that I may one day die for you.
I'm so glad to be here, and I can't wait for the next episode.
All right, cheerio, McDoodle, pip, pip, spot on and all that.
Now we can talk shit about McDougal, right?
I would
Oh, no,
never. McDougal is a saint.
He's a saint, isn't he?
We love McDougal.
Google never did anything to anyone.
God made him better than me. All right, Clancy, let's get on to the next news story.
Let's do it.
Are we getting any news stories from the chat? Let's lighten things up.
Somebody, oh man, all the way up here, somebody posted something. Let's see it from All Hip Hop MGK. Is that something? I'm gonna make eye contact with the producer. Oh, and it's already there. It's like magic.
Who sent this one in?
This is from DP Snacks, who is the
DP.
producer. Made eye
On the
contact.
ones and twos.
Rapper Machine Gun Kelly cancels show after getting punched in the chest 65 times.
Yeah, I love a good feel-good story.
That's so many times.
Was it at
And
the
he's-
show or?
And he's got a little chest. Machine Gun...
Narrow chest. Yes, I see. He was doing stunts for a movie. He got punched in the chest 65. Yeah, right. He got punched in the chest 6.5 times, and
So wait, he's saying it was doing a. He said he was doing some sort of a stunt. I don't understand this at all. While shooting a stunt for the movie Captive State.
is that even a real movie? I don't think so.
I think that might be his YouTube channel. In which case, that's a little bit embarrassing. Jamie, have you ever punched somebody 65 times in the chest?
Not today.
And have you ever started beef with rapper Eminem?
Yes.
Well, you've got that in common with old Machine Gun Jimmy.
I mean, it was one-sided beef. He wouldn't leave me alone, but
You were sort of put upon by it.
yeah, it was a real It was a forced frenemy.
Now, Jamie, what did you do to get the ire from jolly old Mr. Green Mile?
You mean 8 Mile?
You know what I mean, and I meant what I said.
Do you remember that scene where in Funny People, where it's got Adam Sandler and Ray Romano and Eminem hanging out, and Eminem is mean to Ray Romano? I wasn't going to let him do that to the star of Welcome to Mooseport, so I stood up to him, and then it's history from there, baby.
Well, Jamie, that sounds a bit valiant.
Yeah, I'm a hero.
You were standing up for an American icon, Mr. Ray Romano.
Yes, everybody loves him, historically.
Yes. And Mr. Everybody Loves Raymond himself. Mr. Green Mile, as I like to call him.
God damn it.
Eliza, do you like Machine Gun Kelly?
All I know about him is that he and his girlfriend, wife, they make it seem like they're really edgy, but I'm pretty sure that they're the two most vanilla people you could ever meet. You know?
I kind of get that vibe from them too.
Yeah, that's my only thought.
It looks like all those tattoos might just be stick-ons and hennas.
Exactly. And they want everyone to. It's like very much like Angelina Jolie and the vial of blood around her neck.
Yeah.
Like
He gets his tattoos put on down by the cruise ship every morning at the henna stand, and then he goes and does his little pop punk guitars.
Apparently, yeah, that's all.
Well, anyway, I think it sounds like he deserved these punches.
Probably.
I don't think anybody is debating that point, Robbie.
I think we're all vindicated in that. All right, what's next? Though, should we do a news story? Would you like another segment? What would y'all like to do? We're playing fast and loose.
We have another news story from the chat, or we could do another segment. It's up to you, Bobby.
What do you think, Eliza?
What does the chat have to say? I'm curious.
Let's pop into the chat.
Let's hear from the chat. Pop
Engagement!
Chat if you have any opinions on anything ever.
Exactly. We are here for you.
Always feel free to pop off. We love to hear from you.
I mean, there's going to be a little bit of a delay, because that's how the internet works. So
It's all right.
Pop off.
Just gotta wait for some people to start popping off.
They're saving me from going to that news story about Turkish rebels that I forgot I put in there. That might have been a bit of a sticky wicket.
I mean, I will say you did choose the stories, so you could have just not.
All right, well, you're right. Let's do it. Let's do that one. Bring it on up.
We're going to the one about
Let's
the Turkish
dive in. Why not? Turkey launches new offensive against Kurdish rebels in Iraq. Now, Jamie, you're a bit of an expert on this topic. I would love to get your 2 cents.
I think it's, you know what? I think it's impressive that a turkey, birds infamous to be unable to fly, have worked around evolution to pilot these fighter jets to go against the Kurdish rebels. I'm not in favor of it, but I am impressed by it.
It's just a little bit of an ironic twist, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a real Alanis Morissette love story.
Yes. Now, Eliza, if you were to name a country after a submarine sandwich, what submarine sandwich would you name your country after?
Meatball.
Meatball.
Yeah.
And now would you use the military power of Meatball to attack Kurdish rebels in Iraq?
No, but I might want to steal that plane because it looks kind of badass. Like,
it's a bit of a chunky ripper.
One, but it might be fun to fly around in it,
Looks like something that would be on my utility belt.
Absolutely, it does. Yeah.
Something I could take stinky rips off of, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actually, speaking of, I think that is exactly what there we go. There it is right there.
That wasn't even planned. God damn, this is a good show.
God save the queen.
God save the queen. Rimbly timbly and all that.
Oh no, it's gone.
That's enough of that. All right, right back into this whole Kurdish rebels business.
Did we just hallucinate that, or did it actually?
Are we not going to do the story about me vape?
I mean, we could. It's up to you. There we go. Here we go.
Let's just watch the video and then we can move on.
Movierankings.net.
I would love to.
Wait, so what is now, Bobby? Why did you feel like you needed to have it on you at all times?
Because I keep that thing on me, Clancy. You know that.
Sure.
I always keep that thing on me. I've got to have me chunky rips, don't you know?
Yeah.
I've got to get me bat juice in me to stop the criminals.
Yeah.
Well,
Did you say
I'm
Bat
always
2C?
Bat 2C.
I'm always disappearing in a puff of smoke. Where do you think the smoke comes from?
Did you get a real power rush from making someone put it in your belt for you, or was that just like a necessary evil, you know?
Well, I just eaten a caramel apple and I was a bit sticky.
Ah, that's fair.
I mean, that does go against the whole carbs and sugars and no proteins.
There's no proteins in a caramel apple. You can't fool me.
Carbs and sugar, right?
It is all carbs and sugar, just no protein.
Sugar is a carb.
Mm-hmm.
Allegedly. That's what they'd like you to believe on the old lamestream media. All right, how about a segment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Baby.
Do I have three-way consent?
Yes.
All right, this is a fun segment that I like to call Fibbity Faberton Fits Scribbly Hamsterbin. And this is a good segment of Fibbity Faberton Fits Scribbly Hamsterbin. Are you all right, Jamie?
Yeah, I'm just feel like there's something in my eye.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Well, I can keep talking to buy you some time to fish that son of a bitch out.
I think I got
All
it.
right.
Thank you.
So how this segment works is let's all pull out our phones. Clancy, Eliza, Jamie, pull out your phone.
Oh, okay. My phone is out.
Okay, now go on to social media. It can be Instagram or Facebook or whatever you like to use.
Okay. I'm going to hop on the Twitter.
I'm also
All right.
Me too.
And then let's all scroll until we get to our first targeted ad and share what we're being sold today.
Okay.
Oops.
Let's see what they're selling us today. I just got one for Jack Link's Jerky. And it seems like my phone would like me to buy some of these salty treats. And little do they know, they're tempting me right now with that protein. And boy, oh boy, wouldn't I like to have a bite, but I just can't do it.
I got one for Ledger, which is a device that helps keep your crypto safe. I don't know how, and I don't believe it. I think it's just a way to scam more crypto people, so I must support it.
Now, do you feel that your crypto is particularly vulnerable, Jamie?
I have no crypto. All my money, all my investments are physical. I have nothing is liquid. It's all invested in physical items.
Oh, Luke Skywalker, that's a Lego set.
It is.
Jamie, are you excited for the Muppets Legos to be dropping on May 2nd?
I very much am. They got revealed a couple months ago. We've been waiting for the big announcement, and finally it happened.
Are you gonna be heading right to Target that morning?
I'm gonna go to the Lego store that's in the mall.
Which mall?
The Washington Square over in Tigard.
I have to go to Tigard now.
I didn't realize they might have them at the Target. But I know if I go to the Lego store, it'll be easier.
You'll know for sure. Now, Clancy, you don't have to go to the Lego store if you don't want to.
No, I do have to go to the Lego store.
I don't think any of us
don't want to have to go all the way to Tigard to do it.
Well, I'm sure we could carpool.
That's true. We should all get in a car together and go to the Lego store.
We could make a day of it. You could jump on the back of me bat cycle. We could all pile on there.
Yeah. We could do like a live version of what's happening.
We could all share a pair of wireless headphones and listen to the Moldy Peaches while we ride to the Lego store.
I'm very into that.
Yeah.
Listen to the Juno soundtrack and Spoon.
Colgate wants to come too.
I think that's fair.
Yeah. Group slip. Thank you.
You're invited, of course.
My problem is that I live to join the carpool would be for me to go out of the way because I live very close. I live, close to the mall. So can I just meet you all there?
Unfortunately, Jamie, it's just not going to feel the same hanging with you when you haven't been there for the bonding on the bat cycle.
That's
we
true.
Can pick you up like on the way.
I can pick you up last if you prefer.
I guess that's okay.
You're gonna have to ride on the bat cycle.
That's okay. As long as I have does it have seatbelts or like a handle I can hold on to?
I've got different straps on my utility belt so you can all sort of cinch into one another.
Okay, that still feels very unsafe.
I've got a carabiner on my Nalgene. I'll clip you into that.
A carabiner is what killed Owen Hart.
Well,
Okay.
I think it was a lack of further carabiners that really killed him.
Yeah, that's fair. The one carabiner didn't do the job. It was just the lack of further reinforcement.
Yes, I think though. I think lots of people would say that gravity killed him. You ever think about that?
Some would say Vince McMahon killed him.
Some people would say that goblins killed him, but I wouldn't believe them. Eliza, tell me about your targeted ads.
Well, and Jamie, you can hold as long as you hold the vape while you're like strapped in. Bobby's not going to let you go anywhere.
That's fair.
Okay, I
Smart
got
woman.
Delot US, which I thought they were like finance or something, but it's about smartwatches that help monitor health 24/7. They predict that 320 million consumer health and wellness wearable devices will ship worldwide in 2022. And now I think that the targeted ads think that I have cancer. Like why else are they telling me about a health watch?
Oh no.
I know.
Well, maybe they think that your wrists aren't heavy enough.
Maybe. I don't know. But if I have cancer, I'm going to blame this ad,
Well, maybe. Here's another way you could think about it. You could thank the ad for letting you know.
No. It's the end of the world, Bobby. Like, we just need to get with, like, as least aggro as possible,
Oh, I think that's a lovely way of thinking about things, Eliza. Isn't that lovely? It's the end of the world. Who cares if we have cancer?
Exactly.
Who cares if we don't get Oscars? Who cares if we do?
Right. Yes.
Who cares if we've been locked in our trailer for 3 days because we can't find the door latch? And I've been slowly eating the Montserrat leaves behind me for sustenance. Who cares?
Well, once you run out of vape juice, bat juice is what you said that? Somebody said bat juice. You'll find a way out. I'm confident.
I'll find a way. I'm the world's greatest detective. I always find a way out. Clancy, why don't you read us some of your targeted ads while I go pee?
Yeah, my targeted ad is for MTV's Help, I'm in a Secret Relationship.
What does that mean?
It's premieres Tuesday, April 26th at 9/8 Central on MTV. What if your partner's biggest secret is you? Help, I'm in a secret relationship.
So now sneaky links are like a TV show? I mean, I'm into it. Are you going to apply? They're looking for you.
I mean,
are you in a secret relationship?
Am I in a secret relationship?
Robert is just gone.
Yeah. You can tell us. Yeah. He went to pee.
Yeah, but it's just...
Yeah, but you can tell us.
The Rock poster is revealing a lot.
Yeah.
Here, is it better?
Is that not Robert's hand in the background just hanging out?
That would be very
funny. I am curious what this show is.
Well, it sounds like Catfish meets Cheaters, is what it sounds like to me.
Is someone going to get stabbed like they did on Cheaters?
Friends. I haven't met anybody. We have a lot of work ahead of us. On her social, she doesn't even follow me. I'm reading the captions of the video.
Wait, so it's like you're in a relationship, but they're not posting about it online.
Right.
Yeah. Here's a secret.
But I mean, does everyone have to be on the same page to make it a sneaky link, or is it?
Oh wait, I have just gotten word that our producer has it at the ready, so we could just watch this thing.
Hell yeah! Oh boy.
Now, what are we watching now?
This is the ad for Help, I'm in a secret relationship.
I can't hear anything.
No.
It's got a bit of a fun hat going on. Some more fun hats.
That woman's shirt was not protecting her from the world.
Well, that's the point of shirts
being
like that.
hidden by your partner.
Good for her.
We found out.
Okay, I would actually watch this, I think.
Yeah.
This looks pretty good.
The relationships are real.
Oh.
But
this feels like you're going to have people who are just straight up like keeping them secret so that they can cheat. And then you're going to have people that's like, I just wish you posted about me more. Like, I feel like it's going to go wildly both ways.
Yeah.
I could see it being both.
Have to wait a whole other week. Damn.
It's next week, though.
Maybe someone who's got some funny parents that they don't want the other person to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, those
I
people
hate
with
when
the,
I start dating a person and their parents are funny.
they've
Yeah,
got some
that's-
kind of funny parents going on.
I'm the funny one.
I love it when
You've
people
got-
have funny parents.
I'll only marry you if
And
I'm
with them.
funnier than your parents.
Your dad
Well, I
has to
think
beat me at
that's-
Zip Zap Zop before I get married.
No, I didn't know that they had made a competitive version of Zip Zap Zop.
I feel like that's fair. Your dad has
Let's
to
try it out.
I mean,
Zippington.
Zappington.
Zoppington.
Zippington? I've never done improv.
Rimbly timbly,
Oh, no.
points all around. Points
I-
all around.
Wait, this is a
Eliza
ball.
lost.
I did lose at Zip Zap Zop. The first recorded case of losing at Zip Zap Zop.
Well, then, Eliza, you
boy.
can't
Next
marry
up,
Clancy.
your fiance's dad.
Right. I'll have to break the news to them, but you know.
Now, speaking of breaking news, let's go to another news story.
Let's do it.
All right.
What do we got next on the docket?
Khloe Kardashian confesses to photoshopped Disneyland photo of daughter True. What does that mean?
Now, I like this headline because it tells us right up top that the story's true.
I like honesty in my journalism.
Yeah.
Like a decade ago, someone on the internet said that Khloe Kardashian looks like Jafar in drag. And that was a mean thing to say, but it is all I can think about every time I see the name Khloe Kardashian.
You just think about Jafar and drag.
Yes.
Thank you. I do win for never doing improv. Thank you so much.
That is probably makes you a little bit cooler. Now, what do you lot think is photoshopped about this photograph?
I think the kid's whole head.
Yeah.
You don't think that child was there?
No, I think the child was there. I think that the photo was not photogenic, so they changed it.
Oh, so they put a different face on there.
That is my assumption.
But I guess I feel like every photo that the Kardashians put up of their children are photoshopped. Why is this one special?
Because they got caught.
We
we
can
all-
find it in the metadata.
Ah, yeah, the sneaky metadata.
When
I
they
bet-
screenshotted it, they left the window in.
Yeah, the secret relationship people, they probably have a lot of metadata problems too.
Probably.
Yeah.
Now, I don't really see what's too wrong about this. I've had whole acting roles that I've had photoshopped because I wasn't happy with the outcome.
Name 3.
Good Times, that one was all photoshopped. I was sort of a natural strawberry blonde for that one. And
That's
so
one.
they photoshopped that one. That one when 9/11 happens. Remember that one?
I
do.
love that one.
With you and
That
the Claire
one?
from Lost.
It's called like Remember Me or something like that.
Remember Me, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Yeah, that one was actually it was actually the day of the Oklahoma City bombing. And we had 9/11 photoshopped over it to make it a little more current.
That's crazy that they also photoshopped everything else to be New York City instead of Oklahoma City.
Well,
You can't really tell them apart unless you're there.
exactly. You know, Gotham, Chicago, it all kind of comes out in the
You're right.
wash.
Chicago and Oklahoma City are twins as city.
Yeah. And then the last one I had photoshopped was Twilight. I was actually originally playing a mermaid, not a vampire.
I want to see that
And-
edit.
And then they realized, well, you know, it's sort of funny. In the books, it was a vampire. I don't know why we really shot it as you being a mermaid. And I said, I guess you're right about it. Let's throw a photo filter over. Turn me into a bit of a vampy.
Were the sparkles there when you were a mermaid though, or was that new?
Oh, Eliza, you know, those are all natural. Those have had to be photoshopped out of every other one of my roles.
Ah, right. Okay. Yes.
You were saying something, Clancy.
Yeah, Lena in the chat wants to know if you've seen the Jaden video before.
Is it what he's turning to?
Our chat robot lets everybody know about Jaden on a regular basis. And
Is it what he's turning to and he's gonna get bits of the knuckles?
it's just
Oh,
oh my god.
welcome to my house. You don't have to slow down. Rimbly timbly timbly. You can spot on, crack on. Welcome to my house. Rimbly timbly timbly. That's my impitable. You can get on this fun. Welcome to my house. Oh, Jaden. He's a proud little chap, isn't he?
What a treat.
What a treat. Oh, I love it. All right. I think that brings us nicely right into our next segment. And this is a segment. This is another thing that I think is important for every news show to have, and it's a little debate segment I like to call Pointinson, Point Counterpointinson, Pointinson, Counterpointinson. It's the game where you debate with a Hollywood superstar. Pointinson, Point Counterpointinson. Welcome to everyone's favorite segment. Now, this is a bit of a debate segment. And we'll be playing with our guests from off channel today, and what we're going to do is we're going to debate a thing in current events. And Jamie, I'll have you start. And Jamie, you're going to be debating from the perspective that Russia should invade the Ukraine. And then Eliza, they'll get 1 minute to give their opinion of why Russia should invade Ukraine. And then Eliza, you'll have 1 minute to give your opinion about why America should invade Ukraine. Does that all sound about right?
Yeah.
All right, Jamie. Time starts now. Let her rip.
I think that Papa Putin has put a lot of work into making the USSR great again. You know, he wants to bring back that. Who doesn't love a nice curtain? Be it silk or iron. And I don't even feel like I need to make a case for why Russia should invade the Ukraine. I feel like Russia's already made. I feel like we all agree with why Russia should invade Ukraine. I think the real issue is why people are so against Russia. Like it's just Ukraine, but I hate the stance that I'm taking on all of this. I feel like I'm a monster, and there's nothing I can do to change what I've said.
Well, you've got 30 seconds to keep making this point. Don't lose steam now.
So I think that I think cranes are cool, like crane style kung fu. It's a cool bird. You get to watch them build buildings in downtown areas, and sometimes they have a building that they will put a crane on top of, and that looks really cool. And then in the end of Amazing Spider-Man had a bunch of cranes go. So I think Russia would be foolish not to get Ukraine.
All right, Jamie, that's your time. I know you were just getting started, but that's the rules of the game. You have to stop there. All right, Eliza. Now you are to debate from the perspective that instead of Russia, America should have invaded Ukraine. And your time starts now.
Absolutely. And can I just say, as someone who was on the high school debate team, Jamie, that was the least supported argument I have ever heard. You need a lot more evidence if you're going to win a debate like this. So, just so you know.
I'm using charisma to carry me.
Okay, well.
Jamie, your time is over. Eliza has the floor.
All right. So I think maybe you have all heard about how the youth in America are not supportive of Biden. And I think that one way we could get all of like Gen Z and younger millennials back on Biden's side is to invade Ukraine, right? We all know they have the sunflowers, right? Everyone loves the sunflowers. That's a really strong symbol. So what America should do, what America does best, and just take over those sunflowers, you know? I think it's really going to bring a lot of hope to a time when we need some hope. Make Russia great again, whatever. Like, let Russia figure out what they're going to do for themselves. We need to be worried about America. And I think invading Ukraine is our only answer.
And that's your time, Eliza. Lovely. I like that you started that one with a shot across the bow right at Jamie.
Yeah,
that's good.
Rude,
that's just
and
good
it was
tactics.
unnecessarily antagonistic, and I don't respect you.
Well, all is fair in Lovington and Warringtons. Clancy, who do you think won that debate?
I like a good go for the throat, so I'm going with Eliza.
Thank you.
Eliza, you've won this segment.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's, of course, by the rules of Pointinson, Point Counterpointinson, that means that if Jamie ever has kids, you get to name them.
Perfect. I will
That's
collect
fine.
on it.
I agree to that.
Eliza, what do you think you're gonna name those little chaps?
Hamtaro and
Hamtaro!
Clyde. Yep.
Hamtaro and Clyde.
Mhm.
My favorite 1920s bank robbers.
Hamtaro and Clyde.
Yeah. That's the vibe I was going for. So maybe you can have a little more respect for me.
They both died of...
I will never have respect for you. You've done this to yourself.
We'll see.
Oh, and that's sort of the fun ribbing we like to see on a healthy political debate. All right, Clancy, are you sticking around? Was there someplace you needed to be, or do we have you for another?
I'm sticking around.
Oh, I love to hear it. Then in that case, why don't you hit us with another news story?
Let's do it. The Orbeez challenge is causing harm in parts of Georgia and Florida. Police warn.
Before you go any further, don't scroll down any further. I would like to hear each one of your guesses as what the Orbeez challenge is.
Aren't Orbeez like little jelly balls of jelly?
Mm-hmm. You put them in water.
Jelly balls.
I have been known to watch a lot of videos from what is the videos where they heat up a ball of metal to like 1,000 degrees and then drop it on things, and Orbeez comes up a lot on that channel.
It's sort of known for being a stapleton of internet continents, and as I always say. Eliza, what do you think the Orbeez challenge is?
I know what they are. So I assume Georgia and Florida, they are trying to feed them to gators. And it's going to cause problems.
Yeah. Sort of a petting zoo situation.
Exactly. But it's just like even less nutritious than just sugar and carbs, just water.
And you don't want kids to be getting close to gators, do you?
It depends on which kids. Is it Hamtaro and Clyde? Maybe.
Oh, they'll be rough and tumble. Jamie will raise their kids like Spartans, I assume.
Yeah,
I'm gonna raise them like Athenians, and for any comparison to the vile city-state of Sparta will not be stood for.
Now, feeding an Orbeez directly into an alligator's mouth, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what's known as a West Virginian bar mitzvah, right?
We don't have Jewish people, Robert.
There's sort of different cultural ideas of how to become a man.
That is literally the reason Mel Gibson's father moved to West Virginia, was because he said that there are very few Jews here.
It says that on the signs when you cross state lines, doesn't it?
In a few places, yes, but that's more of it's like a winky. It's a wink racism.
It's cute. It's fun and flirty. Jamie, what do you suppose this challenge is all about?
I would say, isn't Orbeez a kind of gum?
No.
You're thinking of Orbits, love.
Oh, maybe I am. I don't know. Is Orbeez? Oh, is it a BB gun thing?
No, Clancy defined it for you.
Did he? What was it?
They're little balls of gummy gum.
They're like
proof with water.
Yeah, they're like jelly ball. They're like little jelly balls. They're like about this big.
This seems like they're really bad for like water. Then like microplastics. Is it chugging them?
Yeah.
I bet it's chugging them.
Pop off in the chat if you've ever chugged an Orbeez.
I did go ahead and Google what this challenge is, and I am aghast.
Is it?
Why don't you fill us on in, Clancy? You can also, I bet if you scroll down on the old news story there, it'll tell us as well.
Orbeez challenge is encouraging TikTok users to buy Orbeez soft gel or water balls, load them into airsoft guns, and fire them at strangers.
Oh, that's fucked up.
But you were kind of right, though, Jamie, with the BB gun situation. I'll give you that.
It seems like Orbeez are kind of not the... I feel like they're kind of burying the lead. I feel like it should be called the BB gun challenge if you're shooting people.
The shoot strangers challenge.
It seems like Orbeez is almost inconsequential, isn't it?
The do an assault challenge.
The Public Acts of Violence Challenge. Now, have any of you ever been the eye of sort of an internet challenge for teens?
Not yet.
The what?
The ire, you caught the ire of some teens doing an internet challenge, sort
Not
of
that I
been the
know of.
target. I have a friend, a young man by the name of Riley McCarthy, who was once walking down the street at night in Madison, Wisconsin, minding his own business, listening to a little bit of fun music on his headphones, and a young gentleman stepped right out of his doorstep and punched him in the face. And then he looked
I wasn't
up.
expecting it to be so blatant. Holy shit.
And then he lied there on the ground for a bit and looked up and saw there were other teens on the balcony of the apartment building filming it. And
Is this on TikTok, Rob?
Why?
Anywhere?
World Star, probably.
yeah.
Why
I
are
assume it
internet
was
challenges so often hurt yourself or somebody else?
Yeah.
it was a good time, I'm sure. No. Yeah, Riley, he just
Why
laid
are
there.
you still awake?
Yeah, McDougal, go to bed.
McDougal! You've got work in the morning! Either go to sleep or get back on camera! Oh, McDougal.
God.
McDougal. All right. What do you all say we do another segment?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Do I have three-way consent? Oh,
Yeah.
lovely. All right, this is a segment we all know and love that we call the Masterson's Classing Glen. The Masterson Classings Glen. It's the place where you go to ask your questions of me. Yes, this is a segment where I let you, my guests, ask me sort of a masterclass question about either acting or detective work. My two specialties, and I'll do my best to sort of give you answers that might help you in your own acting or detective work. Clancy, why don't you lead us off?
Yeah. How do you go about getting into character?
Now, what I like to do, that's an excellent question, Clancy. You know, I do quite a bit of method acting. And what I like to do is, not every painter is doing a painting for a gallery show. Not every songwriter is going to put every song on an album. And not every actor will use every role that they think up in a movie or a play. So what I pretty much like to do is I spend my free time thinking of every single person that I can think of, and I spend about 10 or 15 minutes acting as them. So that when I need to pull that person out of my pocket, I got it right there on the hip. You can maybe use that next time you've got to do a bit of acting.
Yeah, I definitely will. You
can start now. What's a person you can think of? Think of a person, Clancy.
Yeah, Daryl.
All right, now give me about 15 seconds of Daryl.
Hey, get the fuck out of my chicken yard, bitch. That's what
Captivating.
Daryl always says that.
You see now, next time you have to act as Daryl, you'll be ready.
You're right. You know what? Yeah. I feel good about it.
Eliza, do you have a question for the Masterson 10?
Yeah, so I got this notification that tomorrow some hedgehogs are going to be delivered. So I just need to know do you have a special place for them, or what should I do with them?
Yes. Now, the hedgehog delivery person, he's a bit of a fucker. Okay. So you have to make sure. The last time he came, he did try to give me some porcupine spray painted blue, and I said, Randall, this is not crack on. These simply aren't hedgehogs. You can't spray paint a porcupine blue and expect me to think it's Sonic. So what you have to do first is inspect the merchandise, pick up each hedgehog, give it a sniff, give it a squeeze, make sure it's ripe and spiky in all the right places, and then you can just toss them in with the guinea pigs. Any old spot will do.
Okay, all right. I'll up the lettuce consumption. Go like forehead.
Just keep piling it on there.
Yeah. Okay.
Just keep piling the lettuce.
Cool.
Jamie, you got a question for the Masterson?
Yeah, when you time traveled in Tenet, did you ever find it like, I don't know if it's even time travel. So you know how like at the beginning of the movie, you've seen the movie, right? You've seen your film?
I have not, but I acted in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, did you watch it or did you just perform in it? Okay, so the time travel, I still don't get it.
You see, I was fighting myself.
I don't think that was you actually.
No, I meant when I was on set.
Oh, okay. That
It was a very difficult time for me. I had a bit of issues going on, and I was fighting some demons within myself. So to answer your question, I've got no idea.
Fuck, I will never understand this movie.
No, I don't think any of us will. I think it's all a bit topsy-turvy. Oh, Jamie, don't get like that. Jamie!
We lost.
We've lost Jamie, didn't we?
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks like Jamie is still here, but audio only.
Oh, maybe when they threw down their headphones, maybe that was less of a dramatic exit and more of a pressing the wrong button.
Oh, I take it you can't hear me then.
Oh, we
No, we
can.
can hear you,
I
Jamie.
can absolutely hear you.
Oh, Tenet!
The stop cam effect is very fun.
Now, Jamie, if it would help you understand the movie, you could try to do the rest of this show in reverse to sort of get in the headspace of Christopher Nolan.
I will start to bleed from my eyes and have a seizure. Please don't make me do that.
Okay, I won't.
Again.
And you know, I said that to old Chrissy Nolan on set every day, and you know what he told me?
He said Dunkirk wasn't very good.
He said, "Suck it up, you fucking British prick. Get the fuck back."
Is
in
Christopher
there and
Nolan
do
not
some
British?
acting." Oh, I don't really know. I was a bit topsy-turvy the whole time. Clancy, let's do another news story.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go to the next news story.
Do another. That's actually, Jamie, that was me doing a British accent.
I think it is.
Interesting. I respect your choice.
Okay, here we go.
Acting's all about strong
And
choices.
here it is. 36 tweets that 2000s girls will have a hard time not laughing at.
What makes?
All right.
How do we define a 2000s girl?
Me.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're Clancy's sort of the prototypical, performatively nerdy hot girl from the early 2000s.
That's me.
That's
That's
kind
what
of
we
their
call
brand. So we'll use Clancy. We'll go ahead and use you as the barometer here. And why don't you rattle off some of these tweets? And
I'll bet I'm gonna have a hard time laughing. Not laughing. What does it say?
whatever it says, we'll find out along the way.
Okay, as a self-proclaimed 2000s girl, I have Massey Block's iconic dresses, aquamarine changing nail polish, and Blair Waldorf scathing side-eye quite literally running through my veins. And I know what all those things are because I am a quintessential 2000s girl. So if you're anything like me, please enjoy these hilarious tweets. 20 books to read in your 20s. And it looks like that might be I'm not even sure what that is. What is this?
The Click Dylan.
Is this
I think
Pretty Little Liars? What is this?
I think one of those Midnight's Children by Solomon Rushdie.
Yeah. I think it's just the click.
Ha 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 ha.
Oh, we got them laughing. All right, that one's a smashing success.
It was hard not to. And
Let's move on to the next one.
Stop being nostalgic. It's just an era. But the era is ha 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 because it's Hillary Duff and Lindsay
Funny
Lohan.
lasses.
Also those the other three people. Amanda.
Ivy.
And also Mary and Ashley.
Hillary Duff. Do you all remember the Hillary Duff movie?
Which one?
The one that's sort of a reverse Hannah Montana, where she finds a pop star that looks like her and they pretend to be the same person.
Is that not the Hillary Duff movie? Or sorry, the Lizzie McGuire movie?
Yes.
Yeah, it is the Lizzie McGuire movie.
What did I say?
No, you did. I just you said I thought you were talking about a different franchise. I guess
She was in other franchises.
she was like in a Cinderella knockoff.
The Cinderella story.
Yeah, and then she's in she's in the lead on a sitcom called How I Met Your Father.
And it's just okay.
Yes, but I still watch it.
That's troubling.
Yeah, I have a lot of issues. Also,
No, that's why we love to have you.
earlier. I've had that song by Good Charlotte stuck in my head, but not the whole song. Just the line that goes, "Just because I walk like Obi-Wan Kenobi over and over and over again."
Oh, jeez. You see, what popped into my head was the boys and girls in the clique. The awful names never Stickington. They're never gonna fit in much.
Hell yeah,
Killington.
That's a better song.
All right, movies with these types of posters will never disappoint. And how would you characterize these posters, Eliza?
They just look like I don't understand. They have people on them and words like many other movie posters.
White background.
Special.
It seems to say that this person is saying that movies starring white people will never disappoint.
No, I mean that's certainly a stance.
That seems to be what this person is asserting, that movies with a Caucasian individual in the lead. That seems troubling. I don't know if we want to really get behind that as a sort of point of view. That's a little twisted even for Jamie, I'd say.
Also, I just want to say, I watched John Tucker Must Die recently, and it's not very good.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah.
I was disappointed.
That's brave. That's a brave stance.
It got almost 500,000 likes. Look at that. That is bonkers.
That is also troubling.
Bonkers, yeah,
over
totally
nuts.
nuts.
We can't make sense
bonkers,
of.
No ifs, ands, or buts. Now bonkers.
Are you singing Bonkers by Dizzy Rascal or some sort of other Bonkers
I'm
song?
singing the theme song to the TV show Bonkers.
Do you know the one by Dizzy Rascal?
I don't know who Dizzy Rascal is.
He's that British chap who's like, every day it's a daydream. Everything in my life ain't what it seems. I wake up just to go back to sleep. Talk for a day, but I ain't too deep. All I hear about is sex and violence. The drum and bass line in my cut of silence.
I didn't know that dude's name. And now I'm
Dizzy Rascal. He was my neighbour in Oxford. We were both class of 2022.
Are you guys are talking about the same song though, right?
Yes.
Some people think I'm bonkers, but I just think on me. I wake up every day, it's a daydream. Everything in my life, what I see. I wake up just to go back to sleep. Up here, I'm in too deep. That's we all know the song. All right, Clancy, let's keep on scrolling.
Keep on scroll.
We've got 28 more of these.
You do not understand. I mean, look, I'm not going to laugh at this, but I do agree that I did want to be Aquamarine.
Now, I'm not familiar with this one. This is some sort of a
movie where a mermaid, she comes out of the water and she teaches some teenage girls to be more free and something like that. To be like, it's like a reverse Little Mermaid. It's like instead of the mermaid learning things, the people on land learn things.
Sort of a feminized Encino Man.
Yeah, exactly. It's Encino Man for girls, and that's why I liked it so much.
Why can't Encino Man be Encino Man for girls?
Well, I mean, Encino Man is also Encino Man for girls. In fairness, they haven't made it Encino Man for boys yet.
That's what I'm saying.
If Hollywood could crack that nut, you'd be a millionaire.
Where's the non-binary Encino show?
That's true.
Encino person.
Yeah.
Encino folks. Coming this fall to Bravo.
Wait, but I'm mutuals with the person who tweeted that. Weird.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that's wild.
Do you think you could get them on the show to explain their kind of perspective?
You should reach out.
Yeah.
Say Robert Pattinson would like a word.
I think she'd be into it.
I'm hanging out with Robert Pattinson at the moment. Would you be willing to come on and talk about your tweet about Aquamarine from
February 5th? Pattinson's got questions. All right, Clancy, let's keep plowing through. We got 26 more to go.
This was Euphoria to me, and I don't recognize this.
I don't know what this show
Wait, is that
is.
Glee? Is that?
Oh, this
Am I looking at
seems
Glee?
to
You are
seems to be a
Thank you.
chap in a wheelchair, so that would be Glee. Because he's saying a dancing
Either
with
Glee or
myself,
Dancing with Drake.
a dancing with myself.
Oh,
All right, that one's pretty good. Let's move on. Let's jump ahead to number 17.
Okay, here we go. Number 17. Here it is. She was an NFT. I don't recognize this at all. Pixel Perfect? What is this?
So perfect. Wasn't that a Disney Channel original?
That's what it
Wait,
says on
is
the
it
screen.
literally just Weird Science?
He's
I
gonna
didn't
say-
watch it. I just know the name.
Yeah.
Based on the picture, it looks like it's literally just Weird Science to me.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm confused. Let's go back to number 6. I feel like we need to look at these chronologically, or we're not going to understand them.
Back to number 6. Why did Sam want to sing, but Sam didn't want to sing, but Sam... This is another Glee, I think. Are these all going to be
And
about Glee now?
Sort of the joke is that it sort of sounds like the name of the company.
What's Samsung?
Yeah.
So I guess so.
Sam did sing. But
Maybe
Sam did.
it's
All right. I think let's go to another segment.
Okay, let's do it.
I
Let's
think
go
we've
to
milked just about all we can out of that well. Time to go to one of my favorite segments. A little segment I like to call Lightningsin Roundlefin. Lightningsin Roundlefin, it's the place you go to find out on the news. Lightningsin Roundlefin, welcome. Now, this was supposed to be a segment where we went to a website and found a random news article by some sort of random news article generator and reacted as we went. But it turns out that's not a service that exists. So, Clancy, I sent you a link to a news site that's the only one I could find that does this. If you could open that up.
And here is that.
The only news site I could find with a random article functionality.
Brilliant.
So hopefully we can get some good news out of this.
Yeah,
I figure.
let's go ahead and hit random article on
I
Wikipedia.
figure it's like news from the past. And isn't all
Okay.
news kind of news from the past?
This looks like it says Collège de Montaigne.
The Montaigu Constituent Colleges of Faculties of Arts at the University of Paris. Now, this is interesting. Eliza, where did you go to college?
I went to art school, but not in Paris.
You went to art school? Now, what sort of arts did you do, Eliza?
I did fiction writing, which counts
Fiction
as art.
writing.
Yeah,
That counts as an art.
it
It
does.
certainly does.
And never
Nope.
take a fiction class. Yeah.
Now, was your art school sort of black and white cobblestone like this one?
No, it was just like in random buildings in Chicago. It wasn't even its own.
What art
building.
school in Chicago did you go to?
I went to Columbia College.
Oh, I worked at Columbia College.
Did you? Yeah. It's the one where they'll let anyone in as long as you graduated high school.
It's true.
Now-
It's got open enrollment, baby.
Yep.
Jamie, when you were working at Columbia as a professor of poetry,
Yeah.
was Eliza in any of your classes?
No.
No. I didn't
Oh, that's a
fuck.
shame,
My
isn't
classes,
it?
my classes were a little avant-garde. You know what I mean?
What were some of the lessons you were teaching there?
Something things a little crazy, like how Shakespeare's sonnets were the original hip hop, and like, what lyrics in a song could mean in iambic pentameter, and also why won't my ex-wife return my phone calls?
Mhm.
Oh, it sounds like a bit of an edgy schooling.
Yeah, I had 3 students.
Right.
Now, did they all pass?
No, they all
Did
dropped
he
out
so you didn't quite have a
college.
star pupil.
because that was lesson
Out
number
of
1.
college.
You don't need college. You don't need this debt.
Mhm.
You need to
Now,
follow your fucking dreams.
Now, Jamie, It seems like the administrators at that school might take a bit of an issue with that philosophy.
Good for them. Stand up for yourself and for what you believe in.
Isn't that a lesson we can all get behind?
You know, at the end of the day, who's right? Who's right? Who's wrong?
right?
Nobody really knows. I am on fumes.
We're almost wrapped up here. Now, Clancy, I would like to see if you can bring that article back up. If you scroll down, is there a controversy subheading on that Wikipedia page? I feel like they all have a controversy. It's like personal life, controversy.
Straight to references.
Just straight to references. That's a shame. All right, let's do one more article. And we're almost at time here. I think we're aiming for an even 2 hours. Let's just do one more random out here.
Oh, finally, something I can talk about.
Jokey. Now, this is in your wheelhouse. Jamie, why don't you lead off the discussion on this one?
So, Kaizen Joki was famously a Buddhist priest from the Mino province.
One of my favorite provinces.
I mean, it's top 10 for me.
What are the other 9 provinces in your top 10 provinces?
All right,
Okay.
shit wheel of chaos. Here we go.
Shit. Okay, hold on. I didn't know I was gonna be.
We're doing a top 10.
Trial here. Like, do I have to do does it have to be in any more order, or can it just be?
No, just top 10 provinces.
Well, so nowadays, they're called prefectures.
Sure.
I like Tokyo prefecture.
Okay.
I like the Kyoto prefecture.
I like the Kanto region.
Kanto, Johto, Hoenn, Unova,
Vermilion City.
Vermilion City. Well, that's in the Kanto region. I don't think we can count that.
I
love Hokkaido.
a prefecture?
What?
Is Harajuku a prefecture?
No, Harajuku is a neighborhood in Tokyo. Hiroshima is a prefecture, though.
Okay. Is that in your top 10?
Famously.
No, absolutely not.
Bit overrated. It's touristy, honestly.
A little bit, you know? It's like, what are they all checking out? Chiba's pretty good. Kanagawa. Osaka.
Alberta.
I am out.
I feel like this is Kobe erasure right now.
I don't think Kobe is a prefecture.
I'm pretty sure it is.
If only a website could tell you.
Oh, you know what? I'm misreading it, and you're correct. The prefecture is actually Hyogo, and Kobe is the capital.
Yeah, that makes more sense. It's kind of crazy, though, because some of them are named after the major towns, and some of them, like Tokyo prefecture and Tokyo, are basically the same thing.
Isn't that fun? Now, Eliza, I see you've got one of my capybaras up there on your lap.
Too, yeah.
Now, is that Tony or is that Shaloub?
It's Monk. It's Monk. I know you were close.
Oh, I forgot they had a kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, you've been keeping him away from the piss discs, right? Those are only for the whatever animal I said earlier, guinea pigs.
Yeah, well, I've been trying, but he is a very determined little piss monkey. So
he's tenacious, isn't he?
He is.
He's basically Jack Black.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right. Clancy, I think we've got one more news story.
Yeah, let's
Maybe?
hit it. Let's get in here. Drunken Florida man allegedly ran over body parts during hit and run probe.
His body parts, or
yeah.
Let's speculate. We don't need to read the body of this one.
I want to see what he looks like. Oh my god!
Yeah.
Well, of course,
I think it was his own body parts.
He ran over his upper lip and stripped all the hair off it. That's why he's just got the chin strap.
Yeah.
You would know
that's
like an attempt was made.
Yeah.
That's a man that looks like he could run over a torso or two.
Yeah. He's into it.
Now, Eliza, if you had to get a body part run over, what body part would you pick?
Does it have to be one of mine?
Not particularly.
Okay. Then Jamie's feet.
No, I'm using those.
Now that's sort of a funny prank, isn't it?
Yeah. And then if there's
Because
ever
no one dies in a big building in that one.
no. And if there's ever a draft, you have flat feet. I'm trying to help.
I'll be honest. There are other things that will keep me from being drafted.
Fine.
That is already taken.
Let's list them off. Top 10 things that'll keep you from being drafted. Let's do another top 10 here.
I don't want to talk about all of my ailments in a chat. There's truly too many. There's not enough time.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair enough. All right, I think that brings us to our last segment. What if my last segment was just the shit wheel of chaos and we had to do the whole thing? What if there was a whole nother hour of this that I sprung on you right now? No, that's not it, of course. Of course, the last segment is one we all love to do, and that's Robert's Big Fun Prediction-tinsons. Robert's Big Fun Prediction-tinsons. It's where you come to find out what's happening tomorrow! All right. This is a fun little segment I like to do with my friends. Me and McDougal stay up late playing this game one-on-one, and I thought it would be just perfect for this show. And what this is to sort of wrap up the news for the week. Is we're all going to go around, and we're going to make one prediction of what's going to happen in the news in the next week.
Who wants to go?
That sound all right? Why don't I start it off? Let's see. If I had to make a prediction, Sintin, I would say that probably sometime in the next week, one of those jokers in city council are gonna try to take a whole town's water supply just to make their own big jacuzzi.
I think that's a good prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's been a long time coming, and honestly, I think that his constituencies would totally understand. He's got a hot job being on the city council. He needs to unwind. Yeah.
I think everyone should get a hot tub. I think that should be a law.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with that law.
Now, Clancy, I know you're running for president, but have you ever thought about setting your sights a little bit higher and running for city council?
I have considered it, but it just feels like so much. Like becoming president seems like it's so easy, and city council seems so unattainable that
That's true.
It's hard to even like where do I even start? You know,
it's important to make realistic goals. That's fair. Now, Clancy. What is some prediction tins for the news next week?
Here's my prediction. Seeing as how he has been rebuffed in trying to buy Twitter, I think Elon Musk is going to challenge Jack Dorsey to a fist fight. And if he can beat Jack Dorsey in a fist fight, he gets to have Twitter. I think that's going to happen.
Duchess of Canterbury rules. Winner takes the Twitter.
Yeah. No, I think it might be like UFC rules.
Which, as we all know, Clancy, let's name top 10 UFC rules. Count them down.
Can't punch in the dick. I think that's an important one.
No dick punch, only dick twists.
No eye gouging. No hair
Leave
pull.
the peepers alone.
And I think those are all of the rules in you. Isn't that every rule in UFC?
Those are also the only 3 laws in Florida.
You can't put your fingers in their mouth either.
Oh yeah, no fish hooks.
Not even if they ask you to?
I mean,
maybe outside of the octagon. What you do in your own free time is what you do in your own free time.
Now that's interesting, because that could be this sort of that could be a good strategy that maybe Conor McGregor could use, where they're kind of locking up and fighting. And you know how sometimes fighters will sort of lean on each other when they're kind of tired, and maybe he'll just lean over and say, "Listen, chap, could you help me out? I've got a bit of arugula stuck between my teeth. I'm embarrassed. We're on TV right now. You think you could fish that out for me?" And he'll say, "Of course, sure, mate. You're my best friend. We've been fighting for hours." And when he reaches in there to get the arugula out, he'll say, "Teacher, Teacher, he put his hand in my mouth. He loses, teacher.
This sounds
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
That sounds like a strategy anyone could use, and you can take that to the bank if you're watching right now and you're Conor McGregor.
That's a smooth move.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly is. Eliza!
Yes. So
What are-
I think. Oh, I'm sorry. Don't mean to cut you off.
What are some of your predictions?
Okay, for next week, I predict international superstar and man of mystery Robert Pattinson will open up a petting zoo in his massive estate, his palatial estate. That's my prediction.
Eliza, are you having a bit of fun? Are you doing a business pitch right here on the show?
I'm just saying, you've got the animals, you've got the palatial estate. Why not make it work for you?
Eliza, are you suggesting you and I enter a business partnership where we leave the entertainment business in our rearview mirror and pursue a peaceful life as petting zoo farm owners?
Yeah, I think you would never have to pay for a piss bowl again. You could just get everyone who comes through piss bowl, you got your animals fed.
You could bring your own piss bowl.
Mhm.
Sort of a BYOPB situation.
Yeah.
Now, Eliza,
Yeah.
what are we gonna name our zoo?
Bobby P's Feed and Bleed.
Bobby V's Feed and Bleed open next weekend. You can come on down, right down to my estate at Buckingham Palace. We'll be open next weekend. Jamie!
Yes.
What are your predictioningtons?
I predict that we as a people will finally know peace when a massive earthquake destroys most major metropolises, ushering us back into a stone age, the likes of which we've only read about in apocalyptic fiction. People will die. Animals will finally be able to return to their place on the food chain of living on their own. The global warming problem will be solved. And most importantly, instead of films, we'll have a group of traveling performers who go from town to town, getting on stage and performing classic hits, such as the film Friday Night Lights, the movie, not the TV show, or maybe even Shrek 2. And we will finally know the peace that we as the people have always craved. And that'll probably happen like next Monday.
Starting on Monday. Start the week off with a bang.
Yeah, so like if you got anything you need to wrap up before then, I would recommend doing it this weekend.
I'll make sure to leave a couple extra piss balls out. Now, Jamie, are you going to be a part of this traveling post-apocalyptic
No,
ensemble?
I will die in the initial earthquakes.
I'm sort of planning on it.
And that's fine. Just remember me
You're
for
gonna
who I was.
You're going to start midnight on Sunday nights, standing under unstable archways and just waiting for the darkness.
Oh, I don't want to die. I just have foreseen my own death time and time again. Every time I close my eyes, it enters my mind, telling me this future that we will all soon be a part of. And if I'm wrong,
Shrek 2.
maybe we're gonna eat some burgers together. Alternatively,
Wouldn't that be nice?
I'm so hungry.
Not the more likely of the two situations, but a nice one to think about, isn't
Yeah,
it?
I mean, you could eat like a veggie burger.
Oh, I could eat like a popsicle or two.
Yeah, that's got sugar and carb.
Yeah, that's the thing we could have. All right, I think that just about wraps it up for Happenintons with Robert and Pattinson. I would like to thank my guests, Jamie Carvo, Eliza Butler, Clancy Kramer. Why don't you all tell us where we can find you on the socials, what you're up to, what shows you're on, what are other things we can check you out on. Clancy, you're in the top left. Why don't you start us off?
Yeah, follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me everywhere at Tignaruto. And also come back here every Monday for maybe forever. And give me money.
Give them money, they deserve it. They're a good little piss monkey fish bones themselves. Eliza, where can people find you online?
So you can on Twitter and Instagram, it's Eliza Isn't Funny, and on TikTok, Eliza.isn't.funny because somebody stole my fucking name. And every Thursday I am at Neighbors Tap Room in Portland for Bangers Comedy. And then every second Saturday I am at Lycan Brewing for Sorry Not Sorry comedy. So
You've got quite the show this Thursday, haven't you?
very much so. Yes, absolutely. Might be someone we might have heard of. I think you were mentioning him before with the punching in Madison, Riley McCarthy.
Oh, Riley McCarthy, one of my third or fourth favorite stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
That'll be a good show.
Absolutely.
And you're quite good on TikTok, aren't you?
Well, I do my best. Yes.
You have a bit of fun there. I have a bit of fun watching you. Oh, I love it. Oh, go check that out. Jamie.
Yes.
You're a strapping young comedian. You're in the prime of your life. You got beautiful crystalline eyes. You've got a sexual energy about you that I just find undeniable. Tell the people where they can find you online.
That's so nice. I really appreciate that. You can find me on Instagram at My Dad Gets Mad. It's all one word. I usually just post pictures of the Legos I just finished building. I just posted a typewriter. That was a fun build. Also, I'll post about my shows. And then on Twitter, Twitter's where the real gold happens. That's Thick Sonic, thick with 2 C's. All one word, Thick Sonic. And that's where I am really doing the bits. And then if you live in Portland or the Pacific Northwest, you can. I'm very funny. I get booked at a lot of locations, and odds are if you walk in to one, I'm not going to say you'll definitely see me, but the odds aren't zero.
You got about a 1 in 3 chance, so I'd say.
Yeah, and if you do, if you don't see me, then don't go to that show. Leave that show. Only go to shows I'm on, or Riley, or Eliza, or Clancy, but nobody else. Or Robert. Robert, you don't do stand up, but you should.
You totally can.
I've been thinking about it. If you go to a stand-up show and Jamie's not on the bill, make sure you corner the producer after the show and grab them by the shoulders and shake them up a bit.
That hasn't booked me is wrong.
There's no accounting for taste, is there?
I'm not saying this because Eliza hasn't booked me for her show yet.
We've only had 2.
I know, and I should have been on the first one.
Right.
Get on it, Eliza. Get on it. I'll have to bring you both back and you can rehash this later. That'll be the next pointer. Can't point us in. All right. You can, of course, find me on patreon.com/Pattinsonington, where I've got a series where I'm rating every cast member of Degrassi: The Next Generation from least to most Canadian. And I've also got a series where I'm rating and reviewing every page of the Silmarillion, and you can check that all out on patreon.com/RobertsonPattingTrinnington. And this has been What's Happenintinson with Robert Pattinson. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Sorry if we didn't get to your news story this time. We'll get to you next time. And remember, rimbly timbly, pip pip, and all that. Good night.
Good night.